Welcome, everybody. TGIF, am I right? Happy Friday. Today we've got Darla and Gemma with us. I don't know what's been changing. So Gemma, she's our alpha. She's the middle child, but she's the alpha. Always has been. And it's been a running joke in our family that, like, you can't catch Gemma fully sleeping because of how alert she is. So, like, she'll sleep and then you go to, like, look at her because she's so cute and, like, her eyes open. So, like, you can't really catch her with her eyes closed too often. And over the last few weeks, she's been, like, zonking out, like, falling asleep and snoring. So it makes me happy that she gets to rest a little bit. So here she is, relaxing in the background. See, I even point at her and her eyes open a little bit. She's so alert. She's so aware. Let's see who's here. Jackie says greetings and happy Friday. Happy Friday, Pam. Good morning, Nicole. Hi, Lisa and Lori. That's really funny. There were twins when I grew up named Lisa and Lori, and you guys are right next to each other. Good morning from Portland, Diane. Good morning, Azizi. Nice to see you. Lisa, your dog does that too. Always alert. I, like, feel guilty. I know she's doing a job and she likes working. She likes doing her job. But yeah, it's nice to see her relaxing. Happy March, Greg. Hello, Nancy. Good morning, Stacy. Michelle from Washington, D.C. Patty, happy March 1st. In like a lion, out like a lamb. That's what I used to learn in elementary school. I don't know if that's the same anymore. Hello, Anique. Anique says hi, girls. Christy, hello from Marin, California. Welcome. There's a Dead Kennedy song, Moon Over Marin? Moon Over Marin, I think. Is that talking about California? Kaylin, good morning from Pennsylvania. Melanie, good morning from the Midwest. Likewise, if you guys are new to me, my name is Jacqui Mancuso. I'm joining you guys from Northern Illinois, and today we're talking about astrology, and then we'll pull some oracle cards to see how we can best utilize the upcoming astrology. Hello, April and Janelle. Greg had a powerful leap day yesterday. Me too. I posted about it on TikTok, and I'm starting to upload my TikTok stuff onto my YouTube as well. So I made like a 7-minute video yesterday. I did a really powerful meditation, and it was wonderful. If you missed it on Leap Day, it's not like you're SOL. You can probably just do it any other day, and it'll be great. But yeah, check that out if you want to see that. Shani, my dog does that too, but doesn't stop snoring. He's a bulldog. That's really funny. Happy Friday, Michelle. Hello, Lori. Marielle is top of the morning. You're almost 2 weeks early. I'm just kidding. It's very St. Patty's, top of the morning. Melissa, still recovering from Leap Day. Interesting. What are you recovering from? That's right, Nancy. Leap Day is your son's anniversary. Greg even had to reach out to me personally and tell me how much those Molly McCord videos blew his mind. That makes me happy. Molly McCord is an astrologer, very long astrologer. She's been doing it for decades. She has a YouTube channel, and she posted about Leap Day and how it is the time traveler's portal. And she has a 2-part video about Leap Day, and Greg listened to him, and it affirmed, what'd you say, the last 15 years of your life, Greg? Pretty cool. Good morning, Courtney. All right, so today, guys, we're here to talk about an aspect that's happening on Sunday, March 3rd. We have Venus coming to square Uranus. Venus will be at 19 degrees of Aquarius, and Uranus will be at 19 degrees of Taurus. Now, the first thing I noticed was that these planets are in mutual reception. Goodness. Which means that they are in each other's sign of rulership. Uranus rules Aquarius. That's where Venus is. Venus rules Taurus. That's where Uranus is. So mutual reception brings a camaraderie energy. It can feel like a conjunction, where the energies of these planets are fused. So, wow, surprise, if these AI video things are tweaking me out, and I haven't played around to figure out how to get rid of them. That was really funny. I wonder if that's going to be on the recording. So if we were to fuse Venus and Uranus, Venus represents what we value, what we attract, what we're attracted to, and our resources. Uranus represents rebellion and authenticity and innovation. So, just to give you a time, so these planets have been in mutual reception since Venus entered Aquarius on February 16th, so about 2 weeks. And these planets will remain in mutual reception until March 11th, when Venus enters Pisces, so another week and a half. So you may have been feeling this for the last 2 weeks, and you will continue perhaps to feel this for next week and a half. Fusing Venus and Uranus can feel like placing more value on rebellion, using your authenticity as a resource, diving into your attraction to innovation, and utilizing out-of-the-box thinking. So since, let's just say Valentine's Day, 'cause it's a nice marker, if you've been feeling more called to rebel, to innovate, to do something out of the box, to follow your authenticity, you can thank this mutual reception where Venus and Uranus are in each other's signs. And this energy will continue for the next 10 days. However, on Sunday, the 3rd, Venus and Uranus will form an exact square at 19 degrees of their signs. Uranus at 19 of Taurus, Venus at 19 of Aquarius. Squares in astrology, it's a 90-degree angle. It's not the most flowy energy, right? So you can feel already with that harsh square, it brings tension. It perhaps will throw a roadblock in your way, a hurdle, something you have to move past, move over. And I usually sense these squares as the outer planet imposing on the closer planet. The farther away the planet is, the larger its orbit, the larger its impact is on the energy of the sky. So in this case, Uranus in Taurus is adding pressure to Venus in Aquarius. So this weekend, this might feel like going against your values to protect your authenticity. And I put air quotes around going against your values because I'm sensing that these are learned values that are going to be challenged. These are conditioned values, and these are not authentic values. So here's an honest question. When was the last time you identified your values? Honestly, when was the last time you said, what do I value in life? Why am I doing all of this? Where's the value? Like, what do I place value on? So I used to teach health and PE, and the health curriculum had a lesson on values. And these were middle school and high school kids, and they had no clue. Like, they could not even wrap their mind around, like, what do you mean value? I don't understand. And now I realize that we're most likely all older than high school age. You never know who's watching this stuff. But I feel like this is one of those topics that isn't openly discussed. That if you don't take the time to identify your values, you might be running on autopilot. You might be mimicking the values of the people who raised you, just because that's how we do stuff. That's just how it is. So I'm not saying that every value that was instilled in you is wrong, by no means, or it's out of alignment, in no means, not everything. Some values align with you, and you take them along with you in your journey. So I was trying to think this morning to give you guys a personal example. What are my values and how do they align or disalign with my family of origin? So my family growing up valued family dinner time. We were very dysfunctional in many other ways, but my mom always had dinner on the table at 6 o'clock every night, and we all gathered for a family meal. And I've taken this through my life. I value having that chunk of time dedicated to being together. Right now, it's just me and my husband. We eat dinner together every night, and as our family expands, I expect to continue this because I value togetherness. Now, a value that I don't agree with, my family of origin valued keeping the peace and not speaking up at the wrong time, because you don't want someone to overreact and fly off the handle. So my family of origin valued peace over honesty. So they would hold their tongue often, not to rock the boat. And for a very long time, I thought I valued this too. I felt like I was doing the other person a favor by keeping my mouth shut because I can handle my emotions by myself. I don't need to burden them, right? Then the more I started coming into my authentic self, I've learned that I have a lot to say. And I don't need to say it in a resentful, snarky, stabby way because I value honesty and peace. So if I were to continue to go through life following the values I was taught, I'd be holding a lot in because I was a nice person who doesn't want to cause a ruckus. So here's the energy this weekend of Uranus and Taurus squaring Venus in Aquarius. You may have to go against your values to protect your authenticity. So what in your life right now is pulling you away from your authenticity? This could be a difficult question. It took me a long time to define what authenticity is. What does it mean to be authentic? I thought I was for a long time, and then a therapist called me out, and then I went through this whole like, what? So to define this, what in your life right now is pulling you away from your authenticity? You can ask yourself, where are you holding back how you really want to act, what you really want to say, because there's some rule, or that's just not how we do that? Then, once you've identified the situation, you can ask yourself, what am I choosing to value? What am I choosing to put above? What quality am I putting above valuing by acting this I should be doing it this way? What's the value of me holding my tongue? Of me not saying what I really want to say? What am I valuing? I don't want to speak up because I don't want to hurt their feelings, which means I value other people's feelings. I value how I come off to people. I value what other people think of me. Now, what do you want to do? What is your primal self pulling you towards, your authentic self? You want to bite their head off? You want to give them a piece of your mind? Do you want to share your side of the story? And then ask yourself, what's the value behind this? Do you value self-expression through this action? Do you value honesty? Do you value open communication? The replay of this will be available on YouTube. It might be worth it to go back and rewatch that last section and break down all of those bits. What's the situation? What rules are you following? Where are the values in that? What do you actually want to do? Where are the values in that? And then you can ask yourself, what do I actually value? You know, like, it's okay to have values that disagree with all of society. All of society is not you. Your family of origin is not you. They guided you to a certain place, and now you get to use your authentic self to figure out and live by your values. So I feel like this weekend may place you in a position where you'll have the choice to respond how you've always responded, or to break a rule and stay true to your authenticity. Nicole says, I'm scared to put in my resignation at work because I will disappoint them. So by not resigning because you don't want to disappoint them, what are you valuing? To me, it sounds like you're valuing the way that your company looks at you, the way that they perceive you. You're valuing your reputation. You're valuing your perception, the perception of you. Now, if you did put your resignation in, what are you valuing? I don't want the business to go down. So that tells me that you're valuing the business over you. If you want to resign, if you know you have to resign, let's pretend you did resign. Where's the value in that? What are you choosing to value by putting in your resignation letter? I don't know what your circumstances are for resigning, but it's got to be something about you and yourself. Anique, this is exactly what I'm working through myself concerning a good friend. I love slowing things down. My sun is in Taurus. I am a Taurus, and I love slowing things down, breaking it down, literally listing what situation am I in, what rule am I following, what am I valuing? And when you break it down and you see it all laid out in front of you, it usually makes a lot more sense. Diana, it felt good to stand up for my family. I must have missed something up there. Had to exaggerate a little to my doctor to get extra time off with my infant. You value what you know you need, and you don't value what the system tells you that you need, right? That sounds like that. Release what no longer serves us. It is Pisces season, Rebecca. It is time to surrender everything that's holding you in your past. Nicole, you'll gain more money and time with your son. So there you go. What's your true value? Do you value time with your son over the potential outcome of the business? Everyone is replaceable in the workplace, Nicole, says another Nicole. If they want the business to continue, they'll figure it out. You have to do what's best for you. 100%. So we're going to use 2 different decks to ask 2 different questions. First, we're going to use the Tree of Life Oracle, and we're going to ask which values are up for evaluation. Is it normal to release? I'm also streaming on TikTok today, guys. Is it normal to release? Yeah, absolutely. So I always do group readings. Feel free to send your energy into this deck and tune into whatever higher power you want to connect with today. If that's your higher self, if that is directly to source, if it's a guide or an animal that you work with, if it is an ancestor, if it's Uranus or Venus, asking which values are up for evaluation this weekend. When I do these group readings, I shuffle until 3 cards fall out for us. So the whole reading is for everyone who's here. After the cards fall out, I'm going to show you the backs of the cards. So the image is going to be the exact same 3 times. And I invite you to tune into your intuition to see if you feel different when I hold up a certain card. If anything changes, that could mean that whatever card sparked your interest has a deeper meaning for you. It could mean that, like, that is the #1 card. If you remember one thing from this whole reading, just stick to that. If you feel nothing, wow, card explosion. If you feel nothing, that doesn't mean that your intuition is broken at all. It just means that the whole reading holds equal importance. So some days intuition is stronger than others. Some signs are stronger than others. Yeah. If you already know a number or 2 between 1 and 3, that could be your claircognizance coming online, where you just know which card has a stronger message for you. We're asking which values are up for evaluation. I always love when you guys share your vulnerability in the chat. It helps others open up, and vulnerability is how we form our deepest connections, right? How are you going to have a deep connection with someone if all you talk about is the weather? Apparently there's a lot of values up for evaluation this weekend. If you are looking at a certain card and like your animal jumps on your lap, that's usually a sign for me. If you sneeze, if something changes in your body, if you suddenly cough, if you have a tingle or a twitch somewhere, there's no right or wrong way to use an intuition. And some days you might get different hits than other days also. So if you're waiting, you know, that one day, wow, my knee jerked the one day, and now I'm waiting for my knee to jerk. That's my tell. It's my knee jerk. Poppycock. You have your whole body. You have lots of senses. Uranus is in Aquarius, or Uranus is in Taurus. Taurus is the sign of senses. Uranus is out of the box. So especially these last handful of years, let your body do whatever. Trust random things. Interesting, Greg. All right, which values are up for evaluation? I'm going to show you the backs of the cards, and then let us know in the chat which cards are resonating with you. Here's the back of card number 1. The back of card number 2. And the back of card number 3. Let us know in the chat which cards are resonating with you, and I will hold them up one more time just in case. The back again of card number 1. The back of card number 2. And the back of card number 3. Let's see. Greg 1, Diana 3, Jackie 1 and 2, Amber all, Jennifer sensing 2, but we'll see if there's more. April all, good morning Stephanie. Greg can't get 1 out of your mind. Diana still 3, Christy 3, Patty 3, Jennifer 2, Lori 2, Bonnie 3, Michelle 2, Yvonne 2, Anique 2 and 3, Michelle 2, Chandra 3, Lori all 3, Win 1, Mimi 3, Teresa 3, Pam 1, Shauna 1, Nicole 2, Michelle 3, Stacy 2, Janelle 3 and 2, Lisa all but mainly 1, Nancy 2 and 3, Nicole all. Nicole yawned both times 2 was shown. I consider yawns to be releases. Yvonne, cat meowed at 1 this time, so 1 and 2. Mary Alice 3, Rebecca 1, a jet flew over the first time. A loud car passed by the second time. This is, wow, big in your face, huh? Kelly 1, April maybe all. Did you change the placement of your mic? We'll explain later. No, my mic is in the same spot. Feel free to explain. I'll read it when I have a second. Alright, so what's interesting, and stick with the card, stick with the card. So as I shuffle, right, I shuffle, and the cards just like fall out. And I do my best to not look at the card front when I put them in front of me. And I just like surprise myself too. All 3 of these cards are upside down. And I don't normally like pay attention to that, but the fact that all 3 of them are upside down, that tells me that, because we're asking which values are up for evaluation. I'm gonna see what comes out when I read, but it just, I felt like I was supposed to mention that we're getting the reverse message from this, even though this deck doesn't like necessarily use reversals, and reversal doesn't always mean the opposite. It's so complicated. We'll see what comes out. Gary 3, because my cat came and drank my milk from my Cheerios. Oh, that's so funny. All right, which values are up for evaluation? Time to turn things in their head. Time to turn things on. Time to turn things on their head. Thank you. Martine, this is the Tree of Life Oracle. Card number 1, which values are up for evaluation? 24th path, death. And the message is grief, rebirth, transformation. This path is Scorpio in astrology. This is one of 3 paths referred to as the dark night of the soul. And it asks you to move from personality-led dramas into soul-led solutions and forward planning. Embrace the transformation. Karen, the boatman on the river Styx, who takes us on our journey to the underworld, is on the card, which represents many things. Not least death, but the death of what? The death path is one that gets some bad press, to be honest. And yet, it's the one that holds one of the greatest moments that can ever be experienced. Transformation. What are you transforming? What have you transformed and are now ready to move into the rising phase of emergence? Focus on the rebirth. Don't negate the transformational process by making any attempt to skip past it with fake positivity and I'm okay platitudes. With this card, the root of your discomfort will be obvious, and you'll be asked to see why it's no longer right for you. Loss is part of every living thing's cycle. You're leaving the past behind you, grateful in the end for the lessons and illuminations it has brought you. And you're awakening to a new light, a new depth in a relationship, at work, but ultimately in yourself, comes from burning away what's no longer needed or wanted, or surrendering it or releasing it, like we're all asking about. The power in this moment is shifting in your favor. You are being called to use it with your highest intentions in mind. Look at those who have stirred the pot, those who have turned their back on you, and the chance to move on they have given you. We always thank our friends for their support. Thank the dissenters now for their lack of it. This will help you grow into greatness. So which value is up for evaluation? Your ability to let things go, your ability to let things die. Do you value closing the chapter? Do you actually find value in clearing space in your energy so that you can welcome in bigger, and I don't want to say bigger and better things, but things that are more in alignment with where you're going, what you're looking for? This says it's related to Scorpio. This feels also very Pisces to me. Like you have to close the chapter. You have to let it go. You have to let it end so that it can transform. Nicole, oh man, this is exactly it. Kiana, sometimes they come back. You know, that's the saying. If you love it, let it go. And if it's meant back, or if it's meant to be, it'll come back. Hello, Carrie. Never late, always perfectly on time, but if you want to watch the replay, you know it's going on my YouTube. Fiona, this is so spot on for my situation today. Melanie, this card is what again? This is card number 1. Which values are up for evaluation this weekend? I'm a Scorpio, he's a Pisces, and here we are. Greg, totally related to what happened for me yesterday. Completely reframing my perspectives about the last 15 years. Was valuing them as a loss experience of grief, etc. Now I see them as welcome and necessary process of letting go and releasing to become the ego I am now, to become who I am now. You know, it's the same thing. Your ego is just your meat suit. Jacqui is my ego. I am not Jacqui. I am a soul. Jacqui is my ego. So Greg is your ego. But that makes so much sense. And I love that perspective shift. Letting something die doesn't mean you're letting it go. It's almost like gifting it. Gifting it to the universe so that someone else can utilize what no longer serves you so that you can welcome in what is in alignment with you. Just looking at the symbolism on the card. Oh, so there's a scarab beetle in the canoe. I don't know if it's focusing. And like inside his canoe, it's a scarab beetle. And this card comes up in another animal deck that I have. And the message of the scarab beetle, they roll dung. What is it? Like they roll their eggs in dung. So they're literally like playing with shit all day, but it's a fertile ground for new life. So it's the same thing. Like let things go, and it's not bad, right? Nothing is good or bad. Everything just is. Death, grief, loss, it's not bad. It's part of the process. Everything we go through is a lesson for us. 100%. 100%. Some of my friends try to tell me like, oh no, it just happened. Like you don't have to look deeper into this. And yes, I do. Yes, I do. A bee on the front. I think it's an ant. Sorry, the camera's not doing it justice. I'm pretty sure it's an ant. I am who I was before I was. I like that, Nancy. Thanks for sharing. Does the bird have something coming out of its head, unicorn-like? Oh my gosh. I've never felt older. This is like the first time I can't see something. It looks like a feather. It's very hard to distinguish. Yeah. Ants are powerful creatures. Is the boat a peacock? I don't think so. I don't see any peacock feathers. I just see the long neck. Maybe a swan, yeah. There is no loss. Everything is energy, so it gets transmuted and repurposed. Yes, Greg. All right, card number 2. Which values are up for evaluation this weekend? Card number 2 brings us the personality triangle. Personality, nature, mindfulness. Okay, so this deck talks about the Tree of Life words, and I don't know how to pronounce these. This is a triangle between Netzach, Had, and Yesod, victory, splendor, and foundation. The lowest triangle, the most material one, the one that humanity works in most of all. The combined forces of this triangle offer the human experiences of art, nature, communication, emotion, and intuition, to name but a few. It's easier to relate to things you can hear, see, touch, taste, and smell, and even to the world of dreams, than it is to work with the forces higher up the Tree of Life. This card asks you to look at the personality matters that are clouding your judgment, conversations that have gotten out of hand, a romantic encounter that isn't going as planned, or a lack of clarity about what you want to manifest in your life. You may notice the struggle between your thoughts and your emotions, delaying some decision. Which way to go? Head or heart? Perhaps it's time to seek the counsel of a friend or family member, someone who can help you set new foundations to gain some sort of victory over the to and fro you're going through. You could be called to use your intuitive and or psychic gifts. Perhaps some sort of formal training or other opportunities will present themselves at this time. What is it that helps you express yourself? Forget social media This is just for you. Are you a writer, a painter, a dancer, a gardener? Do you express yourself through fashion, food, humor, or hat? Here's a little secret. Your guides, angels, and masters all love you for your personality as much as anything else. Okay, so what I got from this card is the self-expression of your personality. Which values are up for evaluation? Do you value how you truly want to express yourself? Because the way that you want to express yourself is more you-er than you could ever be. And there's a lot of times when we're told that we're too much. And, you know, that's not how you should do it. You know, don't make too much noise. Don't do it like that. Use your inside voice. Oops. And that could have been conditioning passed on to our elders, passed on to us, right? It doesn't mean that you need to make yourself small to make other people comfortable. So, what I'm feeling with this, because the card recommended, like, reach out to a family member or a friend just to kind of like bounce ideas off of. I do this a lot with my friends. I say, hey, this is what I want to do. Am I crazy? And, you know, just to get some validation. And I purposefully do it with people that I didn't grow up with because they have a different way of looking at life. So if there's, if there's like certain conditioning that you got from your family, maybe ask a newer friend, am I nuts to want to go the other way, to want to express myself in a different way? Use your inside voice. Heard that in family. I jumped on at a perfect moment. Awesome, Rochelle. So this card is saying, be you. Whatever personality you have, be you, right? I don't talk about this kind of stuff with my family. If I were to continue to act the way that I was taught to act when I grew up, I would never have started this Insight Timer channel to help people with my wisdom, because I was just the younger sister and that's it. And you just have your place and that's what you do. So it's all about expressing yourself, what you want to say, what you want to show through art, through gardening, through cooking, through fashion, whatever you want to say, just say it. There's going to be people who like you and there's going to be people who don't like you, and that's okay. If you like yourself, you won the whole thing. Diane, oh my gosh, lack of clarity about what I want to manifest. Work, do the logical biz or the spiritual biz my heart absolutely desires. On point, follow my values and desires. I knew card number 2 was the one today. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I'm so glad you are here. So glad you broke free. Yay, you, be you. Right back to you guys. Happy birthday, Carlotta. All right. Card number 3. Which values are up for evaluation this weekend? Interesting. Card number 5. Gebura? Card of severity. Might, discipline, karma. Number 5 on the Tree of Life, Gebura, is home to the Lords of Karma. The planet is Mars. You are operating on a soul level here, so the choices you make have far-reaching consequences. A warrior queen ready for battle. She reminds you to choose your battles wisely. Have the courage to keep moving forward, and when needed, go full She-Ra. Do you want to get your Dragon Slayer on? Ready to meet the demands of life with the ferocity of Mars at your back and a ballast to the Force? External events can often make us feel like this, but do you know what you're fighting for? Or even with? When this card appears, you're being asked to be clear about what you want and the consequences of the actions you take. All of them. You're also being asked to put everything you've got into seeing something through gracefully. While your initial reaction may be to disregard the feelings of anyone who gets in your way, how will that feel further down the line? Grace isn't always something that comes wrapped in ribbons and bows. You can be graceful and courageous, assertive and loving. You could have set some karmic points in your life that are now being activated. Remember, karma isn't only what happens to you, it's how you react to what happens to you. There is something to be said for getting angry. It alerts you to a situation that doesn't suit you, and often it comes from patterns that are ancient, shared past lives even. Recognize what you are facing and decide on a course of action, even if that's taking none. Some things that are coming up, which values are up for evaluation: your ability to respond, your ability to act with passion, your ability to utilize those emotions of anger. Use your inner fire when there's an inner fire burning. I think it's interesting that this deck chose to use a lady on the Mars card. Just interesting. And this feels like it's speaking very strongly of the feminine power. And I don't know, I don't like preaching about this stuff, because societal conditioning and all that stuff, it can put us in victim mentality. But it's expected, right, that the feminine is quiet and polite and doesn't speak up and holds her tongue. But here is literally a woman with the Mars card saying, like, utilize your power, utilize your inner anger. If you're angry about something, there's a reason you're angry about it. Why shove it down? Do something with it, but you don't have to dominate because you're angry. You don't have to kill everything in front of you and like disregard everything. Value, right, from my story earlier, value honesty and peace. Value honesty and peace. What does this card say? You could be graceful and courageous, thumbs up, okay? You can be assertive and loving. So which value is up for evaluation? What are you doing with this Mars energy in you, this life force energy in you, this assertive anger, frustration, this inner motivation, the oomph, the gut reaction? Like, do you value it, or are you pushing it aside to be polite? Kiana, I remember She-Ra. I had the doll. Yes, Darla's been running in her sleep. Helen, the Amazon warrior woman. Martine, ooh la la, food for thought. Love your interpretation. I love how it said sometimes not doing anything is the right thing to do. I needed to hear that. I've been taking time. I take much more time now than I ever have. And it's partially from like learning, going deeper into astrology, going deeper into the human design. I don't have a gut reaction. Half of the people out there have an emotional authority. Half of us. So we are meant to feel our emotional wave and then make a decision when we come to a place of calm. So that pulls us away from that immediate reaction and immediately throwing your emotions on people, because you got to step back and process it. So if you have an emotional authority, it's literally 50% of people, take your sweet time. You don't need to react right away. That's just projection. That's just throwing your emotions onto another person. Thank you, Tasha. You have such a great energy. Thank you. And Rochelle, thank you earlier for your donation. I appreciate that. Amber, sometimes I get so confused about my work self and personal self, and if they are still aligned. Interesting, Amber. Interesting. You can do that values dissection with situations at home, And then you could do it with situations at work. And just getting it on paper. I love getting things on paper. It helps me see it. It gets it out of your mind, because in your mind, thought can be so abstract and it's like bouncing all over the place. It's air. And then when you get it onto paper, it's earth. It's there. It's real. You can see it. So I love writing stuff down like this. Wow. One more deck, guys. Don't run just yet. One more deck. I'm going to read some comments. Mimi, love that card. Really resonates with me and makes me even more eager to get a new job ASAP. Value the inner fire. You know, it doesn't mean, right, it doesn't mean act on it right away, but listen to it. What is it telling me? Why am I getting so angry about this? What is it about this situation that I'm putting my values on that's making me more angry? Is there something in the air this week? I've experienced multiple romantic encounters this week. It's been weird and very unusual. Actually, Stephanie, so I was just reading this morning on a human design Facebook group. Can't remember which group it was or who posted it or what, and I don't know the exact dates, but we just went through a human design transit, which I believe means when the sun is passing through a certain gate, channel. This was talking about a channel. I think it was the 3740 channel. That sounds right. And it had something to do with connection, and a lot of people were talking about like hearing from exes and stuff. That's really interesting that you asked that today. So maybe if you just want to do a quick Google search about human design channel 3740 and see if that speaks to you. Kamala, yes. Loves my fur babies. Lots of people do. That's why I let them down here. Melissa, my son has been mad and ignoring me for weeks. Usually I would push and try to make him talk, but this time I'm just not doing anything to push. I'm letting the situation play itself out. Trial and error, right? We can sometimes be afraid to go about things in new ways because we think we're gonna mess the whole situation up. I've always done it this way, so if I do it differently, it's going to explode in my face. Not necessarily. You can try it, and then if it doesn't work out how you want it to, try something different. Shanti, exactly. I haven't come to a decision yet, but my higher power hasn't given me an answer. So for now, I will not do anything until I feel confident with my decision. Take your time. There's no rush. There's no rush. I think on my vision board, that's my vision board back there, the thing on top of the couch. What's the hurry? Yeah, that's one of the quotes out there. What's the hurry? I love that you love dogs. Is there a values dissection page or simply write it down? So this is the example that I gave in the very beginning, probably around 10-15 minutes into the talk. Is when I asked, like, go through these values. How are you acting? Where does the value lie? How do you want to act? Where does the value lie? So I recommend rewatching this on YouTube later today. So glad I discovered you. Your questions are so helpful. Thanks, Roseanne. Thanks for your donation. Tasha, sometimes you just need that moment to gain clarity and perspective. Maybe how you perceived it isn't how it truly is. 100%. Jackie, getting it onto paper, is that because your sun sign is Earth? I don't know. I just like putting it on paper. I literally was wearing PJs, went into a store quick, and the last encounter was one of those, no way this is happening now, I was not ready. It's funny, love your vision board. Can we see it close up? Maybe another day. Not right now. I have one more deck to get to. It's just a whole bunch of fruits and vegetables on the bottom. There's quotes on top about taking it slow, having enough to share, being protected, being with family. And then there's a pregnant lady on it. And I have two wolves on either side because the wolf is my animal. The wolf, and then I put a wolf face on the pregnant lady. Because that's something that I'd like to be this year, is pregnant. What are the human design numbers? It was the channel 3740. If you search personal values card sort, you can find a cool deck of values. Thanks, Heather. Helps you to narrow down your values. All right. So we asked which values are up for evaluation. Death. Are you able to let things go? Do you find value in letting the chapter come to a close, allowing the energy to be transformed and transmuted into the next thing? Card 2 was the personality triangle. Are you valuing how you truly want to self-express? Regardless of how you were taught you're supposed to express yourself, are you valuing how you want to express? And the Mars card, are you valuing what your life force, your sacral response, this is also sexual energy, Mars is all about sex, are you valuing those primal urges that are in you to act, to do something? We are gonna pull from the Gateway of Light Activation Oracle. We're going to ask for a message of guidance to align with our authenticity. Because that's what this weekend is all about, is finding a deeper sense of what it means to be authentic. If you're going about something and there's a reaction that doesn't feel right, question if this is really what I value. The outcome that I'm going for here. Why am I acting this way? What does my authentic self want to do about this situation? Forget what I've been taught. Forget the beliefs that have been placed on me. What do I want to do? Thank you so much, Lori, for your donation. So feel free to send your energy into this deck, asking for a message of guidance to align with our authenticity. If you guys have been enjoying today's session, if you'd like to offer a donation as an energy exchange, they're always appreciated. If you haven't followed me on Insight Timer yet, you can do so by clicking on my face on the bottom right-hand corner. I think it takes you into my Insight Timer bio. You might have to click on my face again. Yeah, so yesterday, one of my followers asked me a question about donating on Insight Timer. And I was like, you know what? I don't know, because I'm so busy with my own business that, like, I'm not a student necessarily on Insight Timer anymore. I really don't do any, I don't go to many sessions. And so I was playing around and I realized that when you're on a computer, I can't see the teacher's link, right? So all teachers get one link, like one website that we can put in our bio, and you can't get to that through the computer website. And I also didn't see the option to donate to a teacher on the computer, which I just thought was interesting. So if you're having trouble finding those types of things, when I tell you guys that, like, you can find my link tree in my Insight Timer bio, you have to do that on the app, apparently. I'm learning. So today's actually the last day that I'm accepting applications for my next round of coaching. Starting coaching in 2.5 weeks. And I'm only taking a limited amount of clients this time. So today's the last, oh, interesting, Bonnie. Today's the last day I'm accepting applications for the coaching round that starts the week of March 18th. That's it. I just wanted to say that out loud. I have my upcoming Embody Astrology Lunar Events group. That will be starting. Our first meeting is on March 21st, which is a Thursday, March 21st. More information will come out about that through my email list, which I'll start talking about that probably next week, a little bit more in depth. That's it. Thank you, Karen and Christy. I appreciate your donations. Bonnie says you have to follow to donate on the teacher page. Cool. Did not realize that. Thank you for educating. April says you can access it on your computer. Maybe that's because you follow me. Jackie says, even so, Bonnie, on the laptop I don't see a donate button for Jackie anywhere in her profile. No links in her about page either. Yeah, that's interesting. Follow and log in. Yeah, I don't know. I was just hopping around and I figured I'd share what I found with you guys yesterday. Okay. A message of guidance to align with our authenticity from the gateway of light activation. Pleiadian activation. Coming together, harmony in the heavens, resolution. The Pleiades, also known as the Seven Sisters, is an open star cluster found in the northwest of the constellation Taurus, where Uranus is. These bright blue luminous stars, which formed in the last 100 million years, are among the stars closest to Earth and are the cluster most obvious to the naked eye. It is for this reason that they have been connected to so many spiritual traditions through the ages. This gateway transports us to a place where we can witness the great coming together of the Pleiades. Each and every single star within the cluster is representative of a nation of divine beings. The Pleiadians are said to be human-like beings who honor the feminine and live in an advanced way that we on Earth could also experience, if we were able to accept and honor the holiness of the female body. If we were able to travel to the Pleiades in the third dimensional world, we would not find these beings, however, for they have transcended the physical state and operate on a higher vibration. Pleiadian energy is about coming together in peace and harmony. You are blessed to receive this gateway, for it is a powerful message of assurance that whatever uncomfortable energy you are experiencing right now will soon be washed away. The Pleiadians are beings who live in complete honor of their planets and their people. They acknowledge that in seeing and connecting with one another, they have an opportunity to see and experience the divine. They also know the consequences of disrespecting others. It's for this reason that this is no longer possible for them. If you are being challenged by loved ones now, aim to shift the dynamics of this relationship through a loving approach. The lesson you are facing at this time is an opportunity to heal old wounds and operate from a higher state of being. So a message of guidance to align with our authenticity sounds like it's time to lead with love. And leading with love includes healing yourself so that you can lead with a higher love. There's a way to connect with this card. Find the Pleiades in the night sky or look at an image online and then say, "Great Pleiadian guides, thank you for showing me how to heal the matriarchal line and honor the feminine so that I can support a more balanced and evolved form of existence." Guidance to align with our authenticity. I'm feeling a lot of feminine energy from this. We had this Mars card where the author chose to put a woman on here, which is just interesting. So this card talks about Scorpio. Scorpio is a water sign, which is feminine. And when I think about, every time I think about death, I think about compost, and then I think about putting compost onto Mother Earth. So it is the feminine that knows how to absorb and receive yin, right? Yin energy to transmute. Bonnie, you don't say. Helen, they are so far advanced and excellent examples for us all. April, yes, this reading has strong divine feminine energy. Releasing trapped emotions to birth something new. These 7 stars are also called Subaru and incorporate it in the Subaru car logo, just an FYI, in case you see a lot of Subaru cars today. Thanks, Alice. That's exactly how the universe works, right? It's exactly how the universe works. The Pleiadians might be trying to connect with you if you see Subarus all over the place. Thank you, Tasha, for your donation. So, this card talks about living in complete honor, in seeing and connecting with one another. They have the opportunity to experience the divine, and they know the consequences for disrespecting others. And then it talks about healing old wounds to operate from a higher state of being. So now here we go. Maybe it is time to close the cycle of being... Maybe it's time to close the cycle of projecting your hurt onto the people around you. Pointing your finger at them when it's you who needs to do the healing. To utilize this inner fire that's coming up to love yourself. Because the more you love yourself, the easier it is to love everybody around you. Because it all comes within. This is what it means to live from the inside out, instead of living from the outside in. I guess it has to go both ways. But living from the inside out is like healing everything in here so that this out here doesn't suck as much. Loving, accepting, and listening to your shadow. How do I want to say this? Getting comfortable with your own shadow, your own darkness, gives you a little bit more compassion for the shadow of those around you. And you start to realize that we're all human. And if you find yourself pointing your finger at a lot of people and saying, well, that person did it wrong, and that person is the problem, and that person is the reason why all this is happening, that could be a clue for you that you haven't looked at your own demons. Because when you're able to give yourself compassion and heal yourself and accept yourself, other people don't trigger you as much, because you realize that we're all the same. We're all living from the same type of hurt. And that's not to say that that makes you a doormat that allows, it just allows people to do what they do and to walk all over you, but it allows you to not be so triggered when they do that stuff, and you can come at it from a higher love, from a higher perspective. So I believe that that's what this message is saying about aligning with our authenticity, aligning with love. And how do you align with love? Is you work on yourself, you heal yourself, so that you have more love to put out. Karen, are we able to see the Pleiades star cluster soon? Seems I read somewhere on my birthday. I'm not sure. If anyone knows, put it in the chat. It's the Colorado state car. That has to be a joke, right, Allison? I don't live in Colorado, so I don't know, but that's really funny. And Oregon. Shauna had a Subaru for years, never saw that. Greg, seeing and connecting with each other as a pathway to the divine sounds like community. Yes, it sounds like seeing, accepting, like everything around you is a mirror for yourself. So every time that someone triggers you, you're seeing yourself. And if you keep pointing your finger, trying to live from the outside in, you're gonna hold yourself back. Like, things happen so that you know what needs to be addressed inside. So weird. Self-love and especially forgiveness allows you to be more empathic and open-minded to others. 100% Tasha. A+ gold star for the day. You mastered the lesson. Okay, cool. That was a joke about the state car. The Pleiades are also known as the Seven Sisters. Yep. Fun fact, I am one of 7 sisters. There's 7 girls and 3 boys in my family. Hi, peace. Hi, peace. Alright, guys. I'm out of here for today. I'll be back Wednesday and Friday next week. The 6th and the 8th. On the 6th, we're going to be talking about the first few weeks, the first week or 2 of March. Just because there's like a lot, boom, 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 that happens. Mercury comes conjunct with Neptune. Before Mercury moves into Aries, Mars squares Uranus. That's what we'll talk about on Wednesday. And then on Friday, we'll talk about the Pisces new moon. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I talk about. Nice to see you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your kind donations. Always appreciated. If you came in after 8:15 Central this morning, you can head to my YouTube channel. Just search my name. That's where you can find the replay. It'll be up in a little bit. If you are more of a text visual person, you can check our spiritual community. It's the group that I have on Insight Timer. Our good friend Bonnie takes all the text of the oracle cards and she posts it in our spiritual community. So, Rebecca, I'm not clear on what the heck's going on with Apple and the 30% and all that. I'm not the person to do that. I have other things that I'm focusing on right now, and the 30% isn't my number one. Greg says no, it's just live streams. Jackie, enjoy the weekends. Blessings, April, Helen, have a beautiful day. Deborah, thank you. Anique, Michelle, Tasha. The Pleiades are visible from the northern hemisphere between October and April. Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate you, April. Thanks, Nicole. Thank you, Lori. Donate after the live if you have an Apple product based on your values. All right, guys. Sending love to all. Namaste. Don't be afraid this week to follow your authenticity, even if it goes against your values. I hope that video was just as insightful for you as it was for all of us. Darla and I really appreciate you being here with me. Thank you for liking this video, sharing it with a friend who you think would benefit, and subscribing to my YouTube channel. Also, drop a comment and let us know what you got from this video. What was your biggest insight or takeaway? If you want to see what else I'm working on, click on my link tree. It's right underneath this YouTube video. We'll see you next time. Take care.